Odessa Madre is a legendary, almost mythical figure in Washington, D.C.'s history, particularly in discussions of women and organized crime. Women who prospered in the underground, male-dominated economy. Nicknamed Queen of the Underworld or the female Al Capone, Odessa Madre was considered a powerful and influential boss in the illegal gambling and numbers game. Before legal state lotteries, the numbers racket, as it's sometimes called, allowed players to place small bets on a daily drawing. If their numbers were drawn, they'd win stone cold cash. And so, of course, those who controlled the operations were making a fortune. Like Stephanie St. Clair, who in the 1920s made $250,000 a year running Harlem's numbers game. She earned the name the Queen of Numbers, portrayed here by Cicely Tyson in the movie Hoodlum. St. Clair was another major boss in the numbers game, also acquiring a fortune. In the 1930s, Odessa Madre began building a reputation for being tough, strategic, and business savvy. By the 1940s and 1950s, she had established herself as the dominant force in the city's gambling scene, outpacing many male competitors. She expanded her business to include after-hours clubs serving the DC city elite. Odessa Madre was a symbol of both the opportunities and dangers of the underground economy. Her life story highlights the complexities of crime, race, and power in 20th century America. Odessa Madre was born in 1907 in the nation's capital, Washington, D.C. She was the only child of Annie T. Madre, a seamstress, and Lindsay Montgomery Madre, a barber. It said Odessa attended Dunbar High School, graduating with honors in 1925. However, there's no proof of that. We looked in the 1925 yearbook. 1926. 1924. And 1923. We couldn't find Odessa Madre, but we definitely found a jewel. Fun fact, Dunbar High School, formerly known as M Street High School, was the country's first high school for Negroes. Dunbar was founded in 1870 and has produced generations of leaders. Odessa grew up uptown around the Florida Avenue corridor, once called Boundary Road. Then the area housed dairy farms, so dairy farms supplied fresh milk to Washingtonians and sustained livestock that roamed freely, coining the area Cowtown. Odessa moved to the Lee Droid Park area with her aunt and her aunt's husband, who was a preacher. He helped tutor Odessa in mathematics. I guess you can say those mathematics skills came in handy. Odessa started out buying 2 5-gallon tins of whiskey a day and sold the liquor at 25 cents a gill or shot. Within a matter of weeks, she was up to 4 5-gallon tins a day. Let's check your math. Here's how Odessa turned whiskey into pure profit. Odessa started small, buying just 2 5-gallon tins of whiskey a day, then increased to 4 5-gallon tins per day. A gallon contains 128 ounces, so a 5-gallon tin contains 640 ounces. A standard shot is about 1.5 ounces. Odessa sold 4 5-gallon tins per day. How much money was Odessa making in one day from shots? Leave your answer in the comments. First correct answer gets a prize. The next time you pour a shot or even take a shot, remember Odessa and her incredible journey from 2 to 4 tins. Cheers to the entrepreneurial spirit. At the age of 17, Odessa was building an underground enterprise, reportedly, even including women overseeing a brothel. Her father had a shop on 7th Street Northwest. Odessa inherited this property when he died, and she prospered as this strip blossomed to cultural significance during the 40s and 50s. However, her headquarters were located at 2204 14th Street Northwest, the Club Madre. The club offered liquor by the shot, numbers by the book, and girls by the hour. The late comedian Jackie Moms Mabley performed there free, spending her days in Washington as Odessa's guest.
When they sent from me to come down to Washington, they had some business they wanted me to tend to down there. They sent me an airplane ticket. Now, I ain't scared of an airplane. I'm no square, but I got right limp. They grounded me in Baltimore Saturday.
People dressed in their best clothes to stand outside waiting on tables. Duke Ellington dropped in to tickle the ivories occasionally. Government workers, business people, working people, Howard students, people from all over the world partied at Club Madre. It was the hub for entertainment during World War II. Horse racing, on which the daily numbers games were based, slowed down. So Odessa and Roger Whitetop Simpkins started a numbers bank, which became known as the Night Number. By 1946, court records show Odessa was operating at least 6 brothel houses scattered about northeast and northwest Washington, D.C. She employed about 20 women at a time. She opened 2 Jill joints in Shore and rented a room at 16th and U Streets for the bookmaking operation. Word soon began to spread. Odessa had cops on payroll. I never had any big trouble. Some guys would have their Jill joints raided, or muggers would break in and rob them, but people knew better than to mess with me. Odessa recalls, her shopping sprees were so extravagant they made newspaper headlines. Legend is, she was the only Negro woman that could enter the front door of Garfinkel's to shop. At her peak, Madre's net income was estimated at more than $100,000. She never really left the D.C. area, remaining within the protection of the policemen she had grown up with and their sons. Whenever she left her house, she usually traveled with a couple of bodyguards. They were often young men whom she had befriended on the street. I would see somebody on the street that I liked, and I'd give them a little something. Robert Lee, a former Vice Squad detective, told the Washington Post in 1980, Odessa knew practically every big-time gangster nationwide. She was what they call a counselor in the mob. She mediated disputes. She kept a lot of people from getting hurt. What Odessa didn't realize, while she may have played a good game, the United States District's racket unit had been probing the U Street corridor and the activities of Roger Whitetop Simpkins. The U.S. attorney in Charles Ireland had joined forces with the Metropolitan Police Department in a joint effort to sniff out crime organizations, specifically gambling and narcotics. At the time, there was a nationwide drive ordered by Attorney General J. Howard McGrath, which was initiated by reports from disgruntled gamblers, reports of police receiving ICE payoffs. So, the United States District Attorney was playing now, and their slogan was, if you can't pay the price, don't roll the dice. Thanks for watching part 1 of Odessa Madre, the female Al Capone. Subscribe or just come back for part 2. Hey, don't forget to like the video and share it. This is Hype Man with Pearl Productions.